is recently in October I presented to our board and I presented to our leadership team this document that is it's a snapshot of who we want to be when we grow up.
Okay.
You know, I just feel like God is really calling us to do some very deep and significant things. And so what I did was I began to work on a document that reflects some of the things that we've been talking about, and I call it this 2020 vision document. And there's some parts to that are just very exciting. It's kind of a reflection document. In other words, when you read it, it's a snapshot of who we've become.
Okay.
And so it's almost reflecting on, you know, the journey over the next 9 or 10 years. And there's a lot of pieces to it that I'm very passionate about and excited about. Couple, 2 or 3 that maybe I'd mention is one of the things is we're working on a 50 location strategy. What I mean by that is in 2020 we want to be in 50 locations where we are not just there, but we are there in a very deep and meaningful way. And so because we are there, the issues of economic oppression, the poor, are being addressed. Because we are there, the issues of slavery, the issues of refugees are being addressed. And because we are there, people who are spiritually oppressed, people who don't know Jesus, are being impacted. And so in my mind and in the vision, I can just see that within a 5 to 10 mile radius of each of these 50 geographic locations, because we're there, these issues are being addressed, and it's a deep, deep ministry rather than just a scratching the surface kind of a ministry. So that's one thing that we kind of flush out in the 2020 vision. Maybe a couple more. This whole issue of anti-slavery, anti-trafficking, you know, there are 27 million enslaved people in the world, and that doesn't even begin to reflect the number of refugees that are also part of that physically oppressed group. And we want to become known as an organization that is a primary leader in the fight against slavery and in the fight to serve and help refugees.
Okay.
And so that's a part of our 2020 plan to really emerge as a global leader that's a valued partner, that's recognized as someone who's really contributing in deep ways to fight that. And then I think maybe just one last thing, Erin, we can move on to other things. But it's back to this idea of partnership. You know, I mentioned to you that we're working on a partnership model. We don't want to just we want you to go deep with us. We want you to get your hands dirty. We want you to be a part of this thing. But what we're trying to do with the 2020 is create more and more project kinds of things that bring churches, bring businesses, bring schools together to help the oppressed.
Yeah.
But they're centered around a particular cause, a particular project, and out of those projects that we create, partnership is born. And in my mind's eye, it's deep and it's long lasting and it's very exciting. So those are just a few things that are in the 2020 vision.
Okay. Good. That's exciting. Those are big visions.
Yeah.
And it's fun to get a sneak kind of inside your mind as the leader to see your vision, and it's exciting to want to follow you and want to be a part of what you just talked about. So thanks for sharing some of that. So there's a lot of exciting things coming, but tell us about some exciting things that are happening now and currently at iTeams.
Yeah, I'm really excited about some of the great things that are happening right here. Our home base is here in Elgin, Illinois, and there's just some great things happening here, as well as great things happening around the world. One of the things that we're really excited about is we're creating a business as mission center here that brings together some of these business people that God is raising up to change the world with us. And they're actually moving into this building that we're sitting in right now and beginning to rent office space, and they're committed to going deep with us, and they're committed to leveraging their businesses around the world to be helpful to the cause of international teams, which we believe is the cause of Christ.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited about this Business as Mission Center and the direction that God's taking. As a matter of fact, this morning I was in a meeting with right in that chair over there, Aaron. There was a guy who owns a company. He's a business guy. In the chair next to him was a friend of mine who works with InterVarsity, works with MBA students, and then in that chair was a student who's actually working on his MBA. And we were talking together about how to go into different places around the world and create some of these businesses mission models that produce income for the business leader, the business owner, but also provide jobs and opportunities for the oppressed.
Yeah.
For example, you begin to address the issues of slavery in the world, and what you realize, if you pull a woman or a young woman out of prostitution, you know, what is she going to do for income? And so this whole concept of business's mission creates jobs, it creates wealth for the business people, but it does some amazing things to really change the climate of a community, not only the lives of people. So I'm excited about this business's mission center that's developing here. Another thing that I'm pretty excited about is we've just recently launched a new version of our website, and maybe some of you that are watching today have already gone to see it. But there's just some very exciting things there, and I hope you'll go and check it out. One of the things I'm excited about, and maybe I'll talk about it in a minute, is I do an interview with a young man named Aaron Nyquist, who's a great emerging songwriter who I think, you know, I'll tell you more about him in a minute, but you just go and check out our website. I think you'll get a bit of a flavor for who we're trying to become and what God is calling us to do. So I'm excited about the new website and those who've been working on it, and I'm very appreciative of that. Okay, here's a new one for you, Aaron.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
You've not heard about this before, but this is part of the 2020 vision. We have been working on an idea, on a concept, for me for a number of years, but we're going to actually create something that we call Songs for the Oppressed.
Okay.
The idea behind it is, you know, for years there's been a connection between missions, between the nations, and God's message to the nations, and worship. And there's a group of young musicians that I know and that I partner with who really want to figure out, what does the next hymnal look like? And I believe that next hymnal it shows God's missional heart for the world, and it's not just a lot of songs about how much we love Jesus and how he loves us, which are important. Those songs are important. But it's missional songs, it's purposeful songs that call us to a much higher level of impact in our world. As a matter of fact, on the website, you'll have an opportunity to listen to a song that Aaron wrote called Changed. And it's the kind of song that we want to promote. It's the kind of song that we want to have people listen to. It's the kind of song that convicts you to want to be a more dynamic Christ follower. And so we plan to release in the middle of next year what we call Songs for the Oppressed. And part of creating that particular CD is the proceeds from that will go to help us serve the oppressed people around the world that we work with.
Okay.
But we also believe that it gets our message out in ways that call people to want to join us in the journey that we're on. So I'm really excited about that. And part of that is, and you sure haven't heard this, is as this emerges, this whole Songs for the Oppressed 1, we actually envision Songs for the Oppressed 2 and Songs for the Oppressed 3. So we want to create a community of young artists who are writing the next hymnal, who are writing the next generation of worship songs. And we want to be in partnership with them. We want to work with them. And we view them as a way of helping get our message out of serving the poor and oppressed around the world. So I'm super excited about that. And Aaron, the guy I was talking about, the one that's on he's one of the people that we're working with. Aaron's working with me on this project, and I'm just super excited about it. So I could probably go on, but we're going to run out of time.
Okay, all right. But that's the first song of this vision you're talking about, Songs for the Oppressed. Aaron's done the first song.
It's a song called Changed.
Okay.
And on the website, if you go there, again, I think I mentioned, you'll see a video interview that I did with Aaron. You'll have the opportunity to see his a video of the like sort of a music video of the song, and there's also the opportunity to go there and download the song for free, so you can have it on your iPod or on your computer or however you want to do it.